Elizabeth from Help Us Astrology at helpusastrology.com. Thanks for joining me today. So this is your astrological forecast for April 2021 as I see it. Now the kind of tone or tenor of April is going to be one where we're actually going to be physically able to get on with our lives from the standpoint of where do I want to go. There's a big influence of Aries at this time. Up till the end of the month, and I'll talk about that in a minute. So we start off on the 1st of April with a couple sextiles. One is Venus sextiling the north nodes, and the other one is the Sun sextile Saturn. We also have Saturn trining the north nodes of the moon, and then Mars, planet of action, in Gemini conjuncting the north nodes of the moon. So right at the beginning of the month of April, we're really finding we've got this big focus on our destiny points of the north nodes. So certainly if you are a Gemini, or more specifically, if you've got your own north nodes in Gemini, this could be the month that you've been waiting for with regards to taking actual action, not just thinking about it. Although, as you know, Gemini is all about the words and a lot of charm. But with this combination, it really says that we're going to have these opportunities for action, for love, perhaps for money as well. And with Saturn very much intimately involved here, it really is talking about putting down these foundations or opportunities to put down these foundations that are going to be long-lasting for us. So pay attention to these opportunities right around the beginning of April. As we get into the month on the 6th of April, we have a lovely Venus in Aries sextiling Mars in Gemini. So this is lovely to have this as opportunities perhaps for new love relationships. But with Aries and Gemini involved here, I really see this more as a push forward for kind of more diplomatic relations, that type of thing. Or new opportunities maybe to form friendships. I see more of that. Or even make money, opportunities to make money, that type of thing. Or hear of opportunities, right, with the Mars in Gemini, hearing of a potential maybe action that you could take to make more money, that type of thing. You know, on a general level, it could be that some of us will decide this is a good time to change my value system and to make that more public, that this is the road you're taking with regards to how you want to be valued. Now we have a new moon in Aries, so happy birthday to all my Aries viewers. This is your new start to the year. So this means that the sun and the moon will be together, and it will be at 22 degrees Aries, 24 minutes on the 11th of April, and that's at 7:31 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. Now we'll have the sun and the moon sextiling Mars, and the sun and the moon will conjunct Venus. And so this really brings in this whole idea that I spoke about a little earlier about diplomatic relations. It's charm, it's the opportunity to have debates, to have banter back and forth, that type of thing. So it could be that on a global stage there will be much more of this type of thing, where there's much more talk about perhaps even peace, which of course is one of the ultimate things that Venus stands for. So Venus is going to be at 26 degrees of Aries. And at that degree point, we know that it will be squaring Pluto. And so there may be some disruptions with regards to peaceful type of activities, where different powers to be, or that are, don't agree on peaceful methods. Right? That square presents something like that. It can also be on an individual basis that we have, some potential perceived blockages with regards to, first of all, our money, but perhaps also our friendships and maybe love relationships. So there may be some blocks that you have to work through. But these are transformational. So the idea is, with Pluto involved, is to transform those areas, not to necessarily completely eliminate them, But if that has to be done, that will happen too. So here, really at this new moon, it's your individual, charming, diplomatic self is activated. Now Venus is going to be hovering, in Aries, is going to be hovering around the sun, but isn't going to be visible at this time. So I kind of visualized when I thought about that was that perhaps some of us will be, hiding our beauty for some reason, hiding love for some reason, hiding our real values as well. That type of thing. It's like that saying of, hiding your light under a bushel. But it's more to do with love and beauty and perhaps money, like I said, and our values. And that's kind of, that whole theme is there also for the first 10 days of April. Now Venus will be sextile in Jupiter, which is lovely. So Jupiter will be activating positive opportunities for Venus to express herself. Now with Venus in Aries, it really is you going after what you want. What do I desire? So this isn't a soft aspect, but it could be, certainly if you are looking to change your value system, or maybe pursue money or avenues to money. You might get some good luck here with regards to that and be presented with something. But it may mean, with that square I spoke about with Pluto, that you have to do some kind of transformation or change of something in order to enact that on your behalf. But Jupiter will give you good luck in that respect. Can also be a counselor too. That's the other thing. I'm thinking financial counselor might be beneficial to you at this new moon. And with Mars in Gemini, it really is saying we've got two minds, so it's kind of a little schizophrenic. It's like, should I go here? Should I go there? And with ever in doubt, of course, you should just wait. And maybe it's good that you're looking at both sides. We've got Mars trining Jupiter and squaring Neptune. And we have Saturn, as I mentioned, trining the north nodes of the moon. So this is activating our dreams, that Mars and Jupiter trine. But as with all trines, these things can go by fairly easily without us even noting. So pay attention to your dreams. This may be an opportunity that you get to actually trigger something and do something with them. And with Saturn there, this could put something in place for you for a long length of time. In other words, an enduring aspect. So on the 16th of April, we have now the Sun squaring Pluto. And this is just like a butting of heads for sure. And so I would just say, try to avoid, if you can, any confrontations, but to pay attention to maybe opportunities where you can do some inner transformation of yourself. That really is more something you do on your own, that you don't participate necessarily with other people. Now, Pluto will be at 26 degrees of Capricorn, and on the 27th of April, it will actually go retrograde at that point, that degree point as well. So this may present something to you that you are going to have to think about during the retrograde period from the 27th of April for a few months. All right, so maybe pay attention to what blocks come in place for you with regards to the 16th of April. Now the other thing that goes with this, of course, and I've spoken about this in my other videos about this whole Venus retrograde that we have coming up at 26 degrees of Capricorn on the 19th of December 2021. But it's going to be at that same degree point too. So there's some tie-in here with this Venus retrograde as well. And of course, when we look at Venus, we initially think of love, but it also can be our money and values. So I would say that this Pluto retrograde will probably come to some culmination point of, I get this feeling of you putting a key in a lock and turning it at that December time period going into January 2022 with the Venus retrograde. So yeah, it might be a good opportunity for you here, again, just repeating myself, to pay attention to some kind of internal transformation with regards to love, money, and your value system with that Pluto retrograde as it ties in at the end of the year with the Venus retrograde. It can also be somebody, of course, coming back to you with that Venus retrograde. On the 19th and 20th of April, we have Mercury will be conjuncting Sun. Now, it's interesting because the first conjunction will be at 29 degrees of Aries and then 1 degree of Taurus. So this says really that communications will be shifting, and I think this is on a global stage that this is going to happen. So letting go of something that is more Aries related, so that's me, and now looking at Taurus, which is our value system, and I would say this is tying more into our earth, maybe even the food that we eat. Big discussions going on at this time. On the 23rd of April, we have Venus conjuncting Uranus, but in conjunct Chiron, which is in Aries. So this is going to be an unexpected piece of information that will come with regards to incorporating our healing. So it may be that something new comes into our life. You know, a conjunction of Venus and Uranus could be this unusual love comes into our life. Now don't forget that with Venus here in Taurus, Venus rules Taurus. So this is a friendly aspect from the standpoint of Venus being here. It's in its home sign. So I would say it's something unexpected. An unexpected love may come into your life, and this doesn't have to be, say, an old love. This would be perhaps a new one, or that you see your love in a new way. Something happens that shifts things for you that maybe you didn't pay attention to before, that now becomes important for you. But it could also be money coming into our life too, right? Because Venus also represents that as well. And I would say that it could be again, unexpected, but with that inconjunct with Chiron, there may be some type of adjustment that you have to make with regards to maybe you wanting to do something, but you have to incorporate other people in this, or other entities of some sort, like maybe even organizations. So we have our full moon, which is going to be a super moon in Scorpio. And that's going to be on the 26th of April at 8:32 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. It is at 7 degrees of Scorpio, 6 minutes. And of course the sun will be opposite that at 7 degrees of Taurus, 6 minutes. And as you recall, we know that Uranus is pretty close by this. And you can say that close by the sun. So we can say that Uranus conjuncts the sun at this full moon and then is in opposition to the full moon in Scorpio. So I would say this is a tense full moon where it's going to require release of some sort. Now Scorpio is a very still waters run deep type of sign. It's very powerful. It may make us have tendency of wanting to cling on to things, to be maybe even possessive of our possessions, and that those possessions may go out to people in our lives, things in our lives, but you will be required to let something go at this time. And I also suspect that this could be a prelude, like a little tap on the shoulder for us with regards to next year, January 2022, when the north nodes of the moon of destiny go into Taurus and the south nodes will be in Scorpio. I think this could be just a little foreshadowing. So I would just pay attention to, especially if you're a Scorpio or a Taurus, I would definitely be paying attention to what you're required to or let go of, or that culminates. You know, full moons are culminations. Perhaps there's some big project that comes to some culmination. This is also a psychological sign, so maybe you're in therapy and you get some kind of epiphany at this time. That may carry through positively for you when the nodes go into Taurus and Scorpio too. Certainly it's going to bring a lot of intense feelings, there's no question of that. So I would say make sure you, ahead of time, maybe figure out some exercise routine, getting into nature, meditating, that type of thing would be very useful at this time. It's a period of endings. That's what I really got strongly here. But it may be surprise endings with that whole Uranus in here as well. There's going to be a desire for change, but at the same time, there's a resistance to change. And so there may be that dynamic happening in our personal lives as well. On the 30th of April, we have the Sun then conjuncting Uranus. So this is like a big interchange. So perhaps whatever happened at that full moon in Scorpio, now there will be some interchange that will happen as well. You know, sometimes we're resistant to let go of something, we let go of it and we turn around and something far better for us is there. And this could be on many levels. Could be money too. I mean, this is a money axis, the Scorpio Taurus axis, right? But on a mundane level, we could actually have some kind of earthquake. That's kind of it on a just basic level. But breakthroughs are prominent at this 30th of April. So we end the April month with this breakthrough. And it could be, for those who are in tune with it, it could be major breakthroughs in terms of like connecting with source, the universe, that type of thing, or just getting it, whatever area of your life that you need to get it in. Maybe connected even to your value systems, right? Where you realize that you're not being valued, and you wake up to that. Big wake up at the end of April for all of us. So in the sky in April, we will have the moon conjuncting Mars on the 17th of April, so you can look out for that. We do have the Lyriads meteor shower happening at this time on the 21st to 22nd of April. I've looked around a little bit to see how these will pan out in terms of us seeing them. And I get sort of mixed messages, so I'm not sure how prominent we'll be able to see these, but certainly, you know, if you're in a dark area where you can look up into the sky, this would be beautiful. And of course, I've already mentioned it, but the full moon in Scorpio is a supermoon, so that'll be big and bright, and it means that it's closer to the Earth on the 26th of April. So when we look at May, we have a new moon that's going to be in Taurus, and then we have significantly our first eclipse. And that will be a full moon eclipse at 5 degrees of Sagittarius. It's a total one as well. And that's towards the end of May. So Sagittarians, and then the opposite sign, which is Gemini, this is going to be the start of the eclipse season, and it's going to be affecting you most directly. All right, everybody, leave me your comments. You know, I always love to hear from you. Please take care of yourself. I'm sending you lots of love and lots of happiness and lots of joy. This is a great month, April.